Dungeon Defenders 2 leaps from pre-alpha to alpha and beyond. RoboCraft has you now fight to the death in Legends of the Pit. SkySaga shows off what to explore in Alpha 5, and we see a couple of games we already know make their way to Steam. What's going on, guys? James Blonde here with MMOHuts.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements for the week ending September 7th, 2015. And we've got a slightly shorter recap this time around due to the long weekend for game companies in the US this past weekend, but we've still got some interesting announcements, starting with Wargaming announcing the official launch date for World of Warships. Launching on September 17th, players will have 4 distinct classes of warships to command, featuring some of history's most iconic vessels, including legendary battleship Yamato and aircraft carrier Midway. 2 full tech trees from the US and Japan are available at launch, and several vessels from the UK, Germany, and the USSR are also entering the fight, making it over 80 historical vessels available so far. Not to mention more nations and vessels are on their way later on this year. Honestly, it's my favorite game from Wargaming, and with this one, they don't seem to mess around. Another developer that doesn't mess around is FreeJam with RoboCraft. They just released yet another expansion in the form of a new game mode called Legends of the Pit. This new mode is a rampant kill-stealing, all-for-one and each robot for themselves PvP mode where players are actually expected to use some foul, dirty, and downright cold means to rank up as many robot kills as fast as possible. There shall be no kindness or mercy given in this 15-player fight. Players of all levels of talent in crafting and battling are eligible to enter the pit to compete for huge rewards if they are the first to obliterate 20 other robots and become the legend of the pit. This is the 4th PvP game mode for RoboCraft, but also for this expansion, they've started up their player versus AI survival mode, which is in alpha at this point, but it has players test their robots against wave after wave of AI robots in increasing strength. Kinda sounds like fun. And speaking of waves and waves of enemies, Dungeon Defenders 2 transitioned from pre-alpha to just plain alpha this past week. So what does that mean? Well, according to the developers, it means that with the Alpha and Beyond update they just released, they added in more story, a rebalanced nightmare mode, rocket boots, and more. It also means that the developers are going to rapidly iterate on and improve the game's core features, although new feature work will still be going on in the alpha. We see a brand new intro teaser trailer here setting up the game's story, but the other features of the latest transitional update include a daily map bonus system, private and public tavern changes, new monk passives and skill sphere, changes to several of the game's UI systems, and plenty more in terms of actual content. Check out the latest patch preview from the link in the description below to get caught up on what's happening in Dungeon Defenders 2. As a quick reminder from last week's recap, Trion Worlds' new game Atlas Reactor, the all-new hybrid-style turn-based tactics game, is now open for alpha signups, and at the same time, they've also opened up alpha signups for the upcoming action RPG Devilian, along with Founders Packs available on top of that. Both games have already started their alpha testings as of the very 1st of September, but alpha signups are still going on, so it's definitely not too late for that. ArcAge's Heroes Awaken update, which is the largest ever, featuring a brand new hero system, updates to the guild progression system, housing upgrades, and a reborn diamond shore, is set to launch this coming weekend on September 12th. Look out for that. Check out the site post linked in the description below for more detailed information about recent updates to all of Trion's games. Next up, we see a brand new trailer for SkySaga, showcasing all of the features available in the recently launched Alpha 5. It's actually been since May since we saw the start of Alpha 4. This time around, we've got plenty of new features. For example, a new monkey tribe has been added to the character creation, along with more hairstyles for all of the tribes and genders. Additional home islands have been added in to give you a bit more variety, making some massive structures. They've also added in some features to help you build, like for example a grid system to help you with your voxel placement if needed. Combat itself has been rebalanced this time around. Attacks are now simpler and pre-baked combos have been removed. Of course, a new realm has been added in. It's a jungle-style biome with huge trees, treetop monkey villages, and dinosaurs. This is just naming a few new features, actually. As you can tell, the video playing in the background is showing off even more. If you're still not in the SkySaga Alpha, check out their social media and Twitch streams at a chance to get an alpha key. This is a voxel game worth checking out. Also, last week, a new trailer for Skyforge was released, introducing hostile territories. These mega instances are an activity designed for a group of up to 5 players working their way towards godhood, and they offer rewards that are extremely valuable to the advancement and general preparation of any immortal seeking to ready themselves for any impending threats. Enemies in these regions are deadly and numerous, covering the majority of the location, making navigation a little bit more difficult. Here, players are searching for an available resonator, and successfully traversing to a resonator and activating it provides players with the task to kill specific enemies, or they have the option to slay a powerful boss for instant completion. The choice is yours there. After the session, the group of players will be presented with the option to cash out and receive the current rewards, or continue, which will mean even higher rewards later on. These hostile territories are highly rewarding, but equally difficult, so choose your team wisely. Check out the backstory trailer to get more insight on what you're going to be dealing with. Next up, Archlord 2 also has a new content update available called Season of Siege. Seeing that this game promotes itself as a PvP-focused MMORPG, this new update introduces a new Castle Siege PvP system that builds on the release of the guild battles back in May, where player guilds can now compete against each other to conquer the capital cities of the two factions. Here, one team will have to defend a captured castle against an enemy team seeking to regain control from its current defenders. In this, players will be able to utilize siege-type items like bombs, barricades, and guard tower structures to help them defend or destroy the castle's defenses. The castle siege will open up once a week on Sunday for the European server and Monday on the American server. Of course, find out more, check out the Archlord 2 Siege update post at MMOHuts.com. Interesting enough, the hardcore first-person sandbox-style MMORPG Mortal Online has found its way on Steam recently. According to the developers, which is a very small developed studio, the servers have been under a lot of stress their first week on Steam, saying that they've laughed, cried, not slept very much, and frantically patched their poor server trying to keep up with the flood of new players. One really nice feature that has changed now that the game is on Steam is the sign-up information. Previously, you had to basically fill out a survey, pretty much give blood and your kidneys to sign up for even a free account. This is all due to the company that they use to activate accounts and payment information, but with Steam, this is definitely not needed. Believe me, it was a big deal. Hopefully, since I played it last, they've made some major fixes, but so far the game is getting a lot of attention on Steam, and the devs are working hard to patch the game and fix bugs along the way, keeping their players updated on the Steam community pages. It's worth checking out. It's a lot different than what you're used to. Now for a last bit of news, which I didn't see coming, but I guess makes sense. If you didn't know already, Smite is actually preparing to launch on Steam. This one totally flew past me. I wasn't aware, but it looks like it's going to launch on Steam tomorrow, September 8th. Hi-Res Ponpon has been answering questions about the Steam version on Twitter recently. Questions like, are the servers the same? Yes. Are you going to get rid of the original launcher? Of course not. Honestly, it's just a new option for accessing the game. Nothing more. Besides that, Smite just introduced its latest god with a hard-to-say name, Xing Tian, the Relentless. I'm just going to call him Mouthbelly, as someone else did on YouTube. So Mouthbelly is a Chinese warrior who was beheaded and turned immortal. His passive is a rage system that gives him stacks of rage each time he hits an enemy with an ability, and for each stack he actually gains HP 5. Of course, they fade after 18 seconds, but yeah, I mean, I'm liking that. His ultimate is called Whirlwind of Rage and Steel, which pretty much sums it up right there. With this, he spins to win 3 times in succession, dealing base damage plus 50% of his magical power per swing, and this also sweeps up his enemies right before he throws them away. Literally. Okay, I made him sound kinda OP, but according to most, he's actually perfect as is, and might be one of the first released gods they don't actually have to nerf. We'll see. Anyway guys, that's about it for a shorter week of news. Thanks again for all the wedding wishes. If you haven't found out from last week's recap, I'm going to be gone for about a week because I'm getting married on a cruise ship near Mexico. Super excited about that. So there won't be a recap next week, but I'll try my best to make up for the week after that. In the meantime, pick up more information about the news featured in the recap from the links in the description below, or hang out at MMOHuts.com for the latest MMO news. Feel free to discuss the news in the comments below, or head over to MMOHuts.com/forums. And until next time, guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.